Coming up on Murrow News 8, 2 new levies have been introduced.
And a new majority leader for Idaho has been announced.
Public Broadcasting Studios on the campus of Washington State University. This is Murrow News 8.
Hello, I'm Landon Ruiz.
And I'm Lena Fielding. Pullman schools are proposing 2 new replacement levies. The first one is a replacement educational enrichment programs and operations levy, and the second is a replacement technology capital levy. The levies help bridge the gap between what the state pays for the school and the actual cost of running the school. The replacement levy ballots are due tomorrow at 8 p.m. The district is asking voters to consider replacing the existing 4-year expiring levy with a new 4-year levies.
The fire at the Express Storage just outside of Pullman Thursday afternoon still has no updates on the cause of the fire. We reached out to Whitman County's Fire District 12 about the investigation, but have not heard back.
The Idaho House Republicans announced today that Jason Monks is the new majority leader. The party on Thursday announced that they voted not to retain Republican Representative Megan Blanksma as its leader. The rest of the GOP House leadership was retained. There was no reason provided as to why Blanksma was removed.
Uber, Lyft, and DoorDash drivers across the 10 major cities in the U.S. will go on strike during Valentine's Day. The organization Justice for App Workers website states they are demanding changes from companies like Uber, Lyft, and DoorDash to provide fair wages and adequate safety measures for their drivers.
The Idaho House Education Committee heard 2 bills this morning looking to prevent minors from obtaining explicit materials in public and school libraries. House Bill 139 would create civil penalties against library boards or districts if minors came into possession of materials that are deemed harmful, and House Bill 227 would enforce school boards to adopt policies to prevent pornographic materials from being in children's sections. The committee voted 9-8 to return House Bill 139 to its sponsor, and it adjourned without voting on House Bill 227.
Coming up after the break, Sadie will tell you more about how much WSU students are expecting to pay on Valentine's Day and what the national averages are.
Dad, they took over my bedroom. Come on, come on. Okay, Dad. 1, 2, 3. You saved me. Dad?
Are you okay?
I'm fine, dear.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
Valentine's Day is only a couple of days away, and if you're looking to treat someone special, it might cost more than you think. Our reporter Sadie has more.
$81. With that national average spending, how much are WSU students willing to spend?
This year, probably going to be like $20 for like me and my friends to do like a little Valentine's Day, but otherwise, not a lot.
Me? Nothing. Under 100, but not a small amount. So over 20, I guess.
All college students celebrate Valentine's Day differently. You might receive a lot of love this day, but receiving a little bit of chocolate won't hurt as well. I'm Sadie Risen, signing off.
The biggest snowstorm in 2 years is headed for the Northeast. Tomorrow morning, rain will turn to snow shortly before sunrise, and New York is bracing for snowfall rates of up to 2 inches per hour. This could put a big hold on people's Tuesday morning commute down the I-95 corridor. And over the weekend, former President Donald Trump encouraged Russia to attack European allies if they don't meet the NATO budget contribution goals. Republican Senator Tom Cotton says Trump was just ringing the warning bell rather than being a genuine threat. However, according to CNN, multiple former Trump advisees warned that if he were to win a second term, they believe he would seek to formally withdraw the U.S. from the NATO alliance.
A woman opened fire this past Sunday inside Lakewood Church in Houston, Texas, before being shot and killed by law enforcement officers on the scene. The woman, later identified as 36-year-old Janice Yvonne Moreno, walked in shortly before 2 p.m. with her AR-15 and her 7-year-old son, who was struck during the gunfire, and is now in critical condition. Another man was also injured with a gunshot wound to the leg. Moreno's rifle had a Palestine sticker and Free Palestine written on the gun. Investigators are trying to determine if the shooting was politically motivated or a disturbed individual. The church is owned by celebrity pastor Joel Osteen. This past week, Israel rejected Hamas's ceasefire plan. Protesters took to the streets in Tel Aviv to call for the release of hostages taken during Hamas's October 7th attack. An attack near the southern Gaza city of Rafah took place late Thursday, resulting in 13 deaths. Rafah is where more than 1 million Palestinians have taken refuge because Israel had previously told Gazans they would be safe there. As Valentine's is coming up, folks might want to know what the weather will look like. Over to you, Sedona, on the weather wall.
Yes, so on Wednesday, it's actually going to be raining and snowing for Valentine's Day, but looking at today, it is a high of 42. It's rainy and very windy this morning. The wind's slowing down a little bit, which is nice, to 6 miles per hour as the day goes on. Our sunrise this morning was at 6:56, and our sunset's going to be at 5:08 p.m. tonight. And then looking at tomorrow, it's actually going to be one of the only sunny days for this week, so try and get outside, do anything outside that you'd want to do. But we are going to have a low of 25, which is going down quite a bit. Wind's going to be a little bit lighter tomorrow with 6 miles per hour, and the sunset going back 2 whole minutes to 5:10 p.m. And now looking at across the state, both in Seattle and over in Spokane and Pullman, it's raining. Olympia is raining a little bit too, but they do have some sun patches in there. In Yakima and the Tri-Cities, it's up there in the 50s, which is really nice for them, and it's been sunny all day. And now we can take a look at the 5-day forecast, and I'll send it back to you guys at the desk. Be sunny on both Tuesday and Friday this week, with rain and snow both Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday, and with a high this week of 43 both on Tuesday and Saturday, and a low of 25. Back to you guys at the desk.
After the break, we'll tell you which basketball player makes WSU history.
And which WSU alum made a big play in the third quarter of the Super Bowl.
It feels like no matter where you look, the state of the world's getting worse. Oceans full of plastic, an endless amount of waste, an impossible task ahead of fixing our beloved planet. But change can't happen if you do nothing. So here's where you should start. Reduce. Why? Because Americans produce more than 200 million tons of waste every year, and you don't want to add to that. Reuse. Why? Because reusing and repurposing cuts back on unnecessary waste, and it gives things a chance at new life. Recycle. Why? Because recycling creates jobs, it helps our community, and it helps our planet. And after doing all this, what will we be left with? We'll be left with a planet that will slowly start to heal. We'll be left with more money in our pockets. We'll be left with more opportunity for work. And most importantly, we're left with hope for the future. So reduce, reuse, recycle.
The Washington State men's basketball team beat Oregon 62-56 on Saturday in a battle for second place in the Pac-12 conference. The Cougars' defense made headlines as they came into this game holding opponents to 41% shooting. Oregon only shot 36% from the three-point range, missing 14 of the 18 shots. Miles Rice led the way for the Cougs with 21 points, scoring 14 of his 21 in the second half. With this win, the Cougs hold sole possession of second place in the conference and has improved the Cougs' resume for March. Washington State heads to Beasley Coliseum to play California on Thursday. Miles Rice has made headlines outside his 21-point performance against the Oregon Ducks. He has won the Pac-12 Freshman of the Week for the 3rd consecutive week and 6th time this year. The Pac-12 Conference announced earlier today. Rice is the first freshman in WSU history to earn 3 straight weekly honors and just 3rd in the Pac-12 history. The WSU women's basketball team lost against the Stanford Cardinals on Sunday. The two teams were neck and neck going into the fourth quarter, 53-51, but Stanford pulled away at the end of the game to win 73-58. WSU is now in 74 all-time against Stanford. The loss was the Cougs' fourth straight since losing Charlize Ledger-Walker. They hopefully will break that streak at their next game against Arizona on Friday. The Kansas City Chiefs won the Super Bowl yesterday 25-22. The game went into overtime after regulation ended in a tied score of 19-19. This was the first Super Bowl to use the new overtime rules that ensured both teams get the ball. The San Francisco 49ers started with the ball but were unable to score a touchdown. They ended up with a 27-yard field goal from Jake Moody. The Chiefs responded with a 3-yard touchdown pass from Patrick Mahomes to McCole Hardman to end the game. The win is the second straight for the Chiefs and their third Super Bowl win in the last 5 years. It was also Patrick Mahomes' third time winning Super Bowl MVP. Former WSU player Jalen Watson had a big play in the third quarter of the Super Bowl yesterday. After a punt from the Kansas City Chiefs that bounced off the heel of San Francisco 49er Darrell Lutter Jr., Watson, a defensive back for the Chiefs, dove for the ball and recovered the fumble. That recovery resulted in a touchdown by the Chiefs in the next play of the game and led them to take the lead.
And it's the day after the Super Bowl. To find out what that really means, tune in after the break.
Days, months,
Hey, I'm Jim from across the street.
years,
I'd like to give you this.
a lifetime can rush by without realizing what we're missing. We lose some of the best moments, some that may never repeat,
Come on.
or detach from people around us. Our loved ones grow used to this pattern, but it doesn't have to be that way. We have a choice to take action. It's never too late to live a full life again. Hear how many of us Vietnam veterans have managed our mental health and reconnected with our families. Visit maketheconnection.net to find out more.
Today is National Football Hangover Day, and today is the day for taking care of that splitting headache, cleaning those tortilla chips off the couch, and calling out of work. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I certainly didn't have any time to do that today. I had to come to Murrow News 8, but I really enjoyed watching the Super Bowl yesterday. Did you guys?
Mm-hmm. I did. I really enjoyed the halftime show. I enjoyed seeing the game go into overtime. I thought that was pretty exciting for the second time ever. So, yeah, I enjoyed that.
I agree. I had a good time watching Usher. That was really exciting. I was super excited for that the whole game and probably wanted that the most. But the game, I'm not really into football, so I love to enjoy the commercials and eat snacks. But it was a good game.
Yeah, I thought the end of the game was really exciting. And we had a bunch of people over at my house, so some were rooting for the 49ers, some for the Chiefs, so it was pretty lively over there. That was fun.
It was. I was pretty excited to see the artist Her come out during the halftime show. Mm-hmm. I really loved that. I thought it was a really good time. What did you guys think of just overall the Super Bowl?
I thought it was a really good game. I was rooting for the Chiefs, as I've talked about before. I love Taylor Swift, so then watching her come down on the field at the end was probably the reason I tuned into the game. So that was super fun to watch, and I loved it a lot.
Yeah, I thought all the different people that came out during the halftime show was interesting. I wasn't expecting anyone besides Usher, so I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I agree. It was fun to see Alicia Keys, so yeah, that was my favorite part.
I was a little disappointed he didn't bring out Justin Bieber. I was really hoping for that, but I mean, it was all right.
Yeah, I was looking forward to that.
A little sad about that one, but that's all we have time for. Thank you so much for watching Murrow News 8. If you missed anything, please look out for any of our social media. Thank you so much. Have a good night.